Welcome to the Coach Rob Show.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
He's been a coach and a dad for 3 decades.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Looking at life through the lens of faith, family, and football.
The hardness of life is a reminder, and so you need the preaching of the gospel as a reminder.
Here's Coach Drew Robison.
Hello and welcome to the Coach Rob Show. Today is December the 4th. It is Thursday. We have got a lot going on in the world, particularly with college football. The playoffs seem to be what everybody wants to talk about. We don't know who's in the playoffs yet. We kind of know that about 8 teams are in. But we've got a lot of at-large things and a lot of yet to be determined on some of the conference champions. And so there's just some subjectivity going on that has got a lot of people upset, and I think it's mainly because of all of the 10-2 teams. You've got a bunch of 10-2 teams that are trying to jockey for the position of getting into the playoffs, and there just aren't enough spots for everybody. And so everybody's upset about their team if they don't have the upper hand. And I think the main point of outrage is due to the fact that we have a system largely dependent on subjectivity. Now, I have a solution to this whole problem that I've mentioned for now 3 years. A year before we started the playoff, I mentioned it for the first time. I mentioned it again last year, and I will mention it again this year. The solution to this problem starts with one fundamental fact that is the biggest glaring problem that we have. Now, the problem of subjectivity going into the playoffs is, I guess, the core of the first symptom of the problem. But the biggest problem that we have that's leading to all of these other problems is this, and nobody seems to want to be talking about it. We have got 136 teams in the FBS. 136 teams in the FBS. There is not any league that is run with any level of competitiveness or overall relevance in terms of having all the teams, having all the fans be involved and excited. There is no league from the NFL to the NBA to Major League Baseball, all the way to through college, high school, down to Little League. There is no league anywhere that has 136 teams competing for one championship that when it goes well. Because when you have 136 teams competing for one championship, you're going to probably have 100 out of those 136 that don't have a chance in 100 years to win a championship. They have no chance in 100 years to win a championship. And so you can make all these concessions about, these sort of moral victories, and hey, it'd be really good if we can go to the Hall of Fame Bowl or win the Weed Eater Bowl or whatever. But the reality of it is the core of this problem, and we're talking about major college football, we're talking about something that is morphing into the NFL in terms of the model. It is easily as popular. Well, it's probably not completely as popular as the NFL for a few reasons, but it is a huge, huge deal for fans, for television revenue, for universities, for coaches, for players, for everybody. And it seems like right now we're in a little bit of a spot where the Berlin Wall has just come down. Clay Travis, I have to give credit for this analogy, but it's like the Berlin Wall has just come down. We're switching to capitalism, and now there's just a mad dash of fury for everybody's wanting to grab the cash for themselves. Everybody's acting in their self-interest. The television networks are, the universities are, the conferences are, the coaches are, the players are. And so what eventually is going to need to happen is there's going to need to be some regulation that will settle some things down, but that will simplify what we need to do in order to determine who the champion is going to be. And the first step in that is to slice the league at least into two pieces. Cut off the top 64, create 4 16-team conferences or 2 32-team conferences with 8-team divisions, and have a league of 64 teams. If you have a league of 64 teams, you can easily promote 4 out of each division or 8 out of each conference and have a 16-team tournament. You'd have the same schedule, the same number of weeks, all of that. And then, of course, you need to regulate things like salary cap, get the calendar problems fixed so that you can enroll at a school in the spring, take online classes or something, so it doesn't matter if you're not enrolled in January. But get rid of this crazy coaches jumping around, having to do contracts, and all of this stuff with signing day, all right before the playoffs. All of that should happen right after the playoffs are done. And we ought to have about a 30-day period where everybody can kind of go crazy and get all their stuff done with contracts. And then by the 3rd week of February, it's all settled. And by March 1, you can get to the new school. You've got half the semester, but just take courses that are online and don't require students take so many, or even better yet, have some of the students just sign up as an employee of the school. Don't even need to call them students if they're not students. Don't worry about it. But let's fix what we need to fix and fix the actual problem rather than just keep on with all of these arguments about which 10-2 team deserves to get in. I can make a very valid argument why Vanderbilt deserves to be in the playoffs more than Miami. I can also make a great argument as to why Miami belongs instead of Notre Dame, and I can make a great argument why Notre Dame belongs instead of Alabama, especially if Alabama loses to Georgia. And we've got these conference championship games, which I don't know. I really don't understand it. People seem to have this huge loyalty and affection for these conference championship games. Why? Why are we so in love with these conference championship games? Why don't we have divisional championship games in the NFL? Or, I mean, we do have conference championship games. It's called the AFC and the NFC championship before you get to the Super Bowl, right? So anyway, to me, that's the point. That's where we need to go. That's where this is headed. Let's slice it to 64. It's going to be a lot cleaner, and to me, it's just the first logical solution toward trying to get things to where they're objective. Get rid of strength of schedule as an argument. Get rid of early season versus late season as an argument. Get rid of the tiebreakers other than the conference tiebreakers that are undefined. Stop with the eyeball test and the subjectivity. Just let the numbers decide. The record and the numbers and the tiebreakers need to decide. Let's stop having FCS schools and low-level, mid-major FBS schools play against these playoff teams, and they mean nothing. They just mean nothing. So anyway, that's the first step to fixing that. We'll dive a little bit more into it. This is the Coach Rob Show. We'll be right back after this.